it's Wednesday, baby. Happy hump day. Oh my gosh, I am wearing a dress with pearls, a little ASMR, and it's killing my ass. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. How's it going? How's your week? Oh, mine was great. I actually went into the city to see one of my girlfriends who is a caftan connoisseur. She's like me. She's either always in a kimono, a dress, or a caftan, period. I can't do no waistbands, okay? I don't know how you guys be doing it. But she's a connoisseur all on her own. And so I was like, you know what? Let me try this on you. I would love to hear your notes and your feedbacks. And it's like, you know, my target demographic. And she's also becoming my really good friend. I actually talked about her on one of the podcasts. She does a scalp treatment facial. She has her own business. She teaches. She's a woman about town. Fabulous time. Drank some vino, had a Cosmopolitan, and listen to what happened to me. Now, I'm from the South. Okay, I say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. Don't care how old you are. And my kids say it too because that's what I say because I teach them manners and respect and things like that. So it was hilarious because now there's like a whole situation, right? And I ordered a glass of wine from a guy who looked like a guy. And he was like, did you say that you wanted the Chardonnay? And I said, yes, sir. And honey, I got to look. Zoom in. I got a look like that where he stopped and was like, oh, did you just say yes, sir? And I could hear in his thoughts and in his energy, he did not correct me. He definitely gave me a look and then went about his business. And I thought, oh, I'm assuming that it's a he. Even though it looks like a man, it looks like a he. Isn't that so interesting? And I was definitely put in a place where I was like, oh, shoot, you know, I guess my manners, which shows that I'm like a dignified part of society, now shows that I'm basically a damn boomer, right? Like by saying, yes, sir, I'm like 80 years old and how unwoke I am. Shit. And I just thought, you know what? Okay, maybe I can't say that anymore because he definitely in the city gave me a look of like, how dare you assume? You know what? I did assume, you know? I respect everyone's pronounage, whatever. But it was I had a moment for the first time of feeling like I'm 41 and I'm a little out of touch in Los Angeles because that doesn't always happen. I'm always at the forefront of everything. But when I said, yes, sir, I did get a, and I went, ooh, I forgot about that. And I told him, I said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm from the South. And he was like, no, it's fine. So he was very cool. I was very cool. But it was a moment, you know? I don't know if any of you live in big cities, but if you do, there definitely is those pockets where people are very aware. So it's definitely an interesting time that we are in, to say the least. Also, oh my gosh, we've been going every Sunday since it's summertime. My husband and I were like, we didn't go to the beach but once last year, and we're going to change that. Our kids are getting a little older. They're 3 and they're 6. They're much more enjoyable. You don't have to watch them as much, you know, like a baby. You're just like, you're just there with them. It's getting easier on the level of like how much hovering you have to do, right? So my husband was like, so that it really feels like summer, every Sunday we should try a new beach all up and down the coast. And I thought that is so lovely. He got an idea to take a train because we have a train where we live that goes straight to San Diego. We got off at some pier stop that was so beautiful, you guys. I was like, are we in Spain? What's happening? The train let us off right at the beach. There was this cute little town with all these Spanish style businesses and homes. It was absolutely lovely. And holy guacamole, okay? San Diego, y'all got DILFs, okay? Y'all put that instead of San Diego, it should be San DILFs. Not Sans, but San DILF country. Because I was on the beach going, oh, look at this. Once again, I have been locked up in the house too long. There were DILFs, okay? Tan, 40-year-old men with kids, with abs, with tattoos. And, you know, you just smell that they had it going on. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, you own a construction company, don't ya? Oh, you got a big old truck, don't ya? Like you could just see it, and they were cool. They were all buff. I was like, he's buff and he's buff and he's buff and he's buff. It's a little bit, if I could be so judgmental and category them, it gives me the vibe of they probably listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. They probably do CrossFit for sure. They all wear like board shorts. It's definitely a culture down there, but honey, that is San Diego DILFs, okay? At your service. I think San Diego needs to have a hat of San Diego DILFs because y'all got a whole club of them down there. And the moms were hot too. They were serving abs and cuteness, but it was something about the men that really just, I don't know if it was the salty air or just seeing like the oil sweat glisten off a six pack. I was just like, ooh, we should come down here more often, sweetie. They were real cute down there in San Diego, too. And if I think it's a good place if ever you have kids and maybe are a divorcee, not me, I'm speaking for others, and you're in California, maybe make your way down there to San Diego, okay? Because they got DILFs, and then you guys could be a little Brady bunch, okay? Keep that in mind. See? I'm helping you. My girlfriend that I met, right, the one who I tried on the kimono who has the hair shop, she and her husband have their own bedrooms. I mean, do you remember back in the 50s when it's like when husband and wife used to sleep in their own bed? I used to think that they were prudes, but now I was thinking that wasn't far enough. After being married for 7 years, which I love being married and I love my husband, but let's talk about it, okay? My husband and I work together. We're raising kids together. We are damn near together all the time. We don't have a lifestyle where we're going to a 9 to 5 and we're separate from each other all day, and then the only time that we get is sleep. Now, that I understand, but for a couple that works together and is raising kids together and owns businesses together and is always together, I think having our own suites sounds amazing. It sounds amazing. How do you guys feel about this? It sounds romantic, right? I actually saw the funniest meme that was like, sleeping next to the one you love lowers your blood pressure and lowers your anxiety levels and all this crap. And then it's like the person curled up in a blanket while you just hear a fart that sounds like a tuba, and they're just like wide awake. And it's like, meanwhile, me. That is me. My husband doesn't sleep very well. He has problems sleeping. He tosses, he turns. He got something with the peeing in the prostate. I don't know what it is. This man goes pee about 6 times a night. He also is really gassy. Okay. This is just what I'm dealing with. This has nothing to do with him. He's amazing. But at nighttime, he is not in a restful state. And I'm a light sleeper. So I'm very much like, if you get up one more time, I'm going to lose my shit. So I sometimes come out and sleep on the couch because I have to get a good night's sleep because he's wrestling and turning and tossing and turning. And then I find sleep very much on like a meditation. Like I don't want to meditate next to someone. And that's what sleep is for me. It's restorative. It's peaceful. I like knowing that he's just right over there, but that I can't hear him. So now I have a dream of having my own bedroom and my own suite with my own bathroom and my own bedroom and my own closet. Wouldn't that be amazing? And then he can have his own bedroom, his own bathroom, his own closet. Oh my God, this is like our new dream. We actually discussed it the other day and we both got so excited and we were like, we need to find out how to do this. And I thought, how fun would that be, right? If you have your own bedrooms and you're married and then you like are texting each other like, hey, you want to come over? Or if I go over to his room and I'm like in a little slinky dinky and I'm like, oh, what you watching? And I get under the covers, but I'm not supposed to be there, which is kind of fun to make it that I'm there. And then I go under the covers and I get real close and I'm like, oh, that looks fun. Like it would bring so much of a spark. You want to come over? Hey, bring the coconut oil. Oh, hey. knock, knock, is anybody home? Like, I don't know. For me, it just adds this whole level of playfulness that it's like, oh, yeah, we're not supposed to be in each other's rooms, but oh, we're so naughty coming over. We're obsessed with this idea, and I'm going to make it a reality. How do you feel? Would you love your own room? Sounds amazing to me. No love lost, but I'm sleeping anyways. Don't wake me up. Now, those people that can sleep on a plane and sleep through a hurricane, I love those people. I wish I was them. Hopefully, I'll come back in my next life as them. But literally, I hear a bird chirp and I'm like, it's not a good match for sleep. Whereas sleep goes, okay? So we've been discussing having our own bedrooms, and I think it's just amazing. Last but not least, I'm going to Cancun next week for my mother's 70th birthday. Oh my God. I can't believe we're like at this stage where my mom is 70. I'm calling people sir, getting canceled. We're getting old. I'm like, but I am so excited and I am having so much fun packing. Okay. I am going to kill it. We're going to eat dinner with the family every night and I'm going to show up and show out like I have my own reality show and I'm showing up to dinner like the Kardashians. You know what I mean? I'm going to be showing up. And I texted my mom like, bitch, I know you're 70, but show up to dinner. Because pull up, show up, okay? Because this is what I'm wearing. And so this is actually one of the looks that I'm going to be wearing. It is so cute. It's got these beads. It's got these rhinestones, but the beads are all the way through, right? They even have a little metal on the other side. So when you sit down, you're literally sitting on beads. It's so freaking uncomfortable. But fashion is pain, darling. So Rocco is so excited to go to Cancun. That's how he says it because, he's in Spanish immersion. So he's like, I cannot wait to go to Mexico. I cannot wait to go to Cancun. He is cracking me up. He's like, I'm going to speak Spanish to I said, yes, do it. This is why you're in it. Go for it, Rocco. So they're going to have stuff for the kids. It's an all-inclusive, damn near a cruise on land. I've never been to an all-inclusive resort. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but it was not cheap. So you know what I'm most looking forward to? My kids going, Mom, I'm hungry. Pick up the phone. Order something. It's all included. Or what? Chips, nachos, ice cream. I don't give a shit. Fill your belly. Can't wait for that. And yeah, so with that, let's get into some domestic goddessness, shall we? Cooking. Now, I'm an Italian. I love Italian. I love to have Italian. I love Italian. Never actually had Italian in me. Interesting. Anyways, so what I love to eat Italian when it needs to be a little lighter, when it's hot out, but I still want that sauce is eggplant schnitzel. That's right. Like an eggplant parmesan. And let me tell you, I have the easiest way to do it. Okay, you put an eggplant, you put a bunch of cherry tomatoes, and you put a whole garlic head, cut it in half. Then you roast that for $3.75. When it comes out, you peel the eggplant. It's so easy, and you kind of mash it with the fork, but you keep the little top hat of that eggplant on, and that makes it flat. Then, you get your dredge, your egg, and your crust. Your dredge is flour of choice. To your egg, add a little bit of mayo and a little bit of Dijon mustard. Oh my God. This is such a nice touch. And then on everything, make sure everything is salt and peppered. Your flour, your egg, and your breadcrumbs. Make sure they're all salt and peppered and make sure your breadcrumbs have a lot. I repeat, a lot of herbs. What I like to do is I like to do half Italian seasoning breadcrumbs, then half panko, and then add more Italian seasoning on top, then add fresh herbs to that as well. So you get that, you fry it up real quick, and then with the tomatoes, you squeeze the roasted garlic, you put more Italian herbs, salt and pepper that, you emulsion blender it, or you put it in the blender. That's the sauce. Then you put your eggplant schnitzel on top. I like to top it with some basil and some arugula, some fresh olive oil and cheese and grated Parmesan. This is it. This is what you're making tonight, okay? It's divine and delicious. Cocktails. Now, never have I ever had a Cosmopolitan like I did at Gigi's in West Hollywood, where I met up with my friend, Lori, okay? She said, try a Cosmopolitan. I said, oh, no, thanks, girl. The cranberry, the vodka, it's not really my thing. She said, listen, try it. I would not steer you wrong. And I said, okay. Holy guacamole. This was the most amazing Cosmopolitan. They didn't use cranberry juice. They muddled raspberries and used raspberry juice through a sieve. What? Okay, you know they're doing the most. I knew it was good because the bartender pulled the martini glasses out of the fridge and then kept ice in them while he built the drink in the canister. I was like, oh, we're doing it now. And he put rose water in it. And then a little rose petal as a garnish, and it was so lovely. I was like, why is nobody doing vodka, raspberry juice, lime, and rose water? This is the way. I have the recipe right here. Now, they don't say how much of what they put in, but they did Tito's vodka, raspberries, but it was like the juice of it, right? Lime, Royal Combier, orange liqueur, and rose water. It was the best Cosmopolitan I have ever had, and mixing rose water and lime and raspberry and orange and the vodka. It was perfect. It was literally perfect. Decor. Now, again, I'm referencing what I saw this week. I went over to Lori's. She's got a 1920s duplex in the heart of the most gorgeous, iconic, and historic neighborhood called, oh my God, I used to live there and now I'm blanking, Hancock Park. Okay, this is right dead in the city, and it has got some of the most beautiful architecture. And I went into her house because I had to pee. Let me tell you, I don't know when we got away from laying down wood floors and actually in the wood putting like a border or a rug type situation. And then on the crown molding, the ceilings were so high that the architect or whoever did it came down like just a little bit, not like right in the corners because it's rounded because it's Spanish style, and then put the most gorgeous molding. And I was like, high and low. Like when you're decorating, don't just think about what's eye lined, right? Make sure you're always thinking about what's up high and what's down low too. Like dot your I's and cross your T's, okay? Make sure that you're doing crown molding or ceiling or something fun up there. And then also below, think about your floors. If you're laying down floors and tiles and could put in like a wood inlay of a rug and then a rug inside. Oh my God, I can't wait to do this. I feel like people really forget about this. Oh, wood flooring. Then they put the same in the entryway and the this and the that and the that. And then it's just like, okay, great, thanks. Like it's already an open concept type situation. So can we structure it a little bit to feel like we've got some rooms and some thought process in here? So that's my PSA for decor. Go high, go low. Okay. All right. And let's get to some Q&A with some TNA, shall we, baby? Dear Juju, I love your podcast. Oh, thanks, girl. You always talk about how you and your husband have the same sense of humor, and sense of humor always is in your relationship. 1,000%. I would actually like to know how you guys met. I love a good meet story. Oh, this is my favorite story. Have you ever heard this? Oh my God, buckle up. I don't think I've ever said this. Oh my gosh. So I was really focusing on myself. I was single for about a year, and I got a call to choreograph a commercial in New Zealand, okay? This was over Christmas time, so I went right after the beginning of the new year. I flew there, and when I landed, I said to the girl who picked me up, I think she was a part of production, I said, "Who's the DP?" And they said, "Oh, the DP is this young hot buck that everyone's like all about. He shot Lion. He shot Zero Dark 30. He's only 29. And I thought, whoa, that's young. I think I was 32 at the time. We're 3 years apart. And I thought, whoa, that's young. They're like, yeah, but he's done like all these Oscar nominated films. And he's like totally the hot guy right now. And I was like, cool. Right? I didn't know if he was single or this, that, and the other. Little did I know that on his side, they were saying, oh my God, you're going to love Juju. They called me Madam Juju. She's a choreographer in LA. But you have to understand, a lot of the precedent of America outside of America is like American, ooh, LA, ooh. Right? Like I'm sure a lot of you that aren't in big cities also think like, oh my God, she's from Los Angeles. Cool. Not right. Like sometimes the big city folk, you know, especially Los Angeles, are full of themselves. They're in Holly weird, right? So he thought, oh, yeah, I'm sure I'm going to love her. And he was thinking in his head, nope, count me out. Okay. A choreographer from LA sounds like a douchebag, right? So when I went to go meet him the first time we met up, I said, hey, I'm Juju. Nice to meet you. He barely looked me in the eye. Okay. Rude, first of all. And was like, hey, hi, how are you? And you could just tell that his energy was like, get away from me. I don't want anything to do with you. And I was like, oh, interesting. So as soon as I saw the director, and I got into the car, this director and I had been kind of through a lot together. We've worked together. We've been through some dramas at work together. He is an amazing man. And I was so happy to see him because the last job that we were on together was really traumatic. And that's a whole nother story. But I was really glad that he hired me again and that I could see him again. So when I got in the car, I was like, hi! And, my husband was probably thinking, oh, my God. And the director was like, Juju, how have you been? Now, in a professional environment, okay, what you're not supposed to do, like HR, I am HR's worst nightmare. I told you, who I am to you guys is just who I am, okay? I literally said, I am not very good. And he was like, oh, my God, why? And I said, I've been on a dick detox for 6 months. And it's killing me. And that was the first time it made my husband go, ooh, I see her in a little different light. A, you're not supposed to talk like that. B, she kept it so real. C, like, okay, she's totally breaking down all the professional barriers that I can't stand anyways. So that's what made him see me in a little bit of a different light. Like, oh, shit. Yeah, maybe we got a real one, honey. Oh, yeah, honey, I think we got a live one. Okay. So as our Tech Scout continues, we all go out to get ice cream. There was a dairy farm in New Zealand that had an ice cream. And I was like, dairy farm, New Zealand, this is about to be real fresh from the cow's teat. I'm in for it. So I was like, let's stop and get ice cream. And everyone was like, yeah. So we get out to get ice cream. He stays in the car and works. And I'm like, what is going on with that one? Okay. What is happening? And the producer at the time was like, he's a little bit of a dark horse. Now, little did she know that I love a dark horse. Ding, ding, ding. Cue my trauma. And I'm like, oh, dark horse. Get my nipples all hard. That's how I saw him in a different light. So we started seeing each other in these different lights that started like dinging into our belly. And I actually was hanging out with one of the production guys. Hello, I was single. Okay. He was cute. He was very sweet. He introduced me to all his friends. He's like, what are you doing tonight? All me and my friends are going to a bar. I'm like, going to the bar with you. He's like, what are you doing tonight? Me and my friends are going to a concert. I'm like, going to the concert with you. Right. And I'm hanging out with this production cat. I didn't feel any kind of way. I just wanted to get out of the hotel and do something. So then one night he said, the production guy was like, listen, I can't hang out. And I said, oh, that's fine. I'll go work out, chill, and have dinner by myself. No big deal. So I went and worked out. I'm at the gym. He's at the gym, my husband. And he is working out like an absolute psycho on the bike. And I thought, he is ravishing that bike. And what's hilarious is he thought in his head, she is working out like an absolute psycho on the treadmill. I have my weights, I was doing my cardio bar afterwards. I was, team too much. We are team too much. We are so full out. So as I'm like laying down doing crunches, almost done with my workout, he goes to leave and he's got these headphones on that are bigger than they're huge. Okay. They look like someone took a beret and made it a headphone. I was like, okay, we get it. You don't want to talk to anyone. But to me, I see people's hearts and soul. I don't see all that stuff that they do on the outside. So I'm literally doing crunches and he walks out and I smack his leg. And I'm like, hey. And he takes off his headphones. And I said, what are you doing later? Do you want to go have dinner with me? I'm having dinner by myself tonight. So if you want to have dinner and eat with me. And he literally looks down and goes, I'll email you in 15 minutes. I was like, okay, psycho. And he walks out and that was it. And I was like, okay. So I go upstairs, I take a shower, I come out and sure enough, he had emailed me and he said, fancy a burger. Okay. Fancy a burger. I can't do the Australian accent. And he had found a place. He had put a link, like a Yelp link to the reviews. And he said, let's cab it there and let's walk it off home. And I said, walk it home? That's kind of romantic. And I was like, I was just thinking we'd go eat spaghetti at the hotel bar, but okay, we can go. So he was like, meet me downstairs in 15 minutes. And something in my gut, like the way he just took control and yelped it and found a place and like said, let's cab there, walk off the burger home. It just like he was so taking charge that something in my gut was like, ooh, interesting. Okay, this is happening. And I didn't really see him in that light yet. So we go to the burger spot. We are cracking up. I have a beer. We are laughing. I'm telling him all these stories that seem too much for here. But I'm just keeping it real. I'm talking about dating. I'm talking about how my ex left me. He's telling me about his ex. And we're just like talking and talking and talking. Then I was like, I don't know if I should get the regular burger, if I should get the lamb burger. And I was like, they both sound really good. So our waitress comes. And this man orders me the broccoli that we were going to share, some sides, and orders my burger for me. I didn't tell him which one I wanted. He just took it upon himself about which one sounded better to him and that he thought I should try. And I said, you ordered my burger. And he was like, I know, this one sounded much better than that one. I think you're going to like it. If you don't like it, I'll buy you the other one too. I was like, it was something about his decisiveness and how he took control. Like my nipples got a little hard and then they got harder and now they're like at full erectness, right? So we're walking home and I'm like, oh my God, all I want him to do is throw me up against a wall and like make out with me. Oh my God, I'm like feeling him. Like with the production guy, it was like hanging out with him a bunch, but there was no feels. It was dry boots. Cut to, sorry if this is long, this is my favorite story in life. He invited me to like do laundry with him the next day and then the next day. And then I think a week after hanging out, I told him I loved him. And he wouldn't consummate the love until the very last day before we were leaving. I'm like, why did you wait that long? He made me wait for it, which was also super duper, duper, super hot. And he already had his visa here in Los Angeles and an agent here in Los Angeles, and they were actually trying to get him to move. And I said, you should just move. You should come live with me. And I was thinking, it's fine, he can move in with me. And if it doesn't work out, I still have a place to stay and he can move out, right? So I'm set up and secure in what I'm doing. And yeah, 5 days after us leaving each other, we had fallen so crazy, head over heels, hard in love. He sold his house and his car and everything in it, packed up what he could in his suitcases and moved over. And that was almost 8 years ago and 2 kids ago. And that is my favorite story in life because I love that some universal hand picked me up and dropped me off in New Zealand to meet the love of my life. And it hasn't always been perfect these 8 years, but it has been worth it because him and I are each other's people, period. Okay? We're each other's people. We just are. We feel like home. We smell like home. We are home. We love each other more than anything. We joke around more than anything. And I digress. I love my husband so much. That was the longest story ever in life. I'm not going to take any more questions today because that was so long and I'm trying to keep it cute and put it on mute. My kids are about to come home. So I hope you enjoy that little love tale. And I should actually add to that. I was a girl that wanted a love story. Okay, that's what kind of girl I am. I grew up watching Pride and Prejudice, watching An Affair to Remember, being like, oh, God, one day I hope I have one of those. And I got my fairy tale. You know, dreams do come true. And don't forget that you're a star. Act like it, show it, prove it, poop like it. Find the greatness that is inside you and make every decision today from that great place because you're a great bitch. Okay? I love you. Mwah! And I'm out.